On April 22, 2025, tragedy struck the serene valley of Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. Terrorists attacked, killing 26 innocent Indian civilians. The peaceful region was shattered. India mourned the loss of its citizens. The attack was a stark reminder of the persistent threat of terrorism. Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba were suspected to be behind the attack. These groups have a long history of violence and terror. India vowed to respond decisively to the attack. The government promised to bring the perpetrators to justice. The nation's resolve was tested. The Pahalgam attack had significant implications for India's security. It underscored the need for a strong and resolute response. The stage was set for a decisive Indian action. India responded to the Pahalgam attack with Operation Sindhoora. This operation was a targeted strike against terrorist infrastructure. India aimed to dismantle terror networks and prevent future attacks. Operation Sindhoora was launched on May 7, 2025. It was a swift and decisive military operation. The Indian Air Force and Army worked together. The operation was named Sindhoora after the traditional red powder used in Hindu religious ceremonies. The name symbolized India's determination and resolve. It sent a strong message to terrorists and their supporters. Operation Sindhoora marked a significant escalation in India's fight against terrorism. It demonstrated India's willingness to use military force across borders. The world watched closely as events unfolded. Operation Sindhoora was a carefully planned and executed operation. It involved precision strikes on 9 key locations. These locations included terrorist training camps, weapons depots, and communication centers. The Indian Air Force deployed its most advanced fighter jets, including Rafale and Mirage 2000s. These jets were armed with precision-guided munitions. The targets were carefully selected to minimize civilian casualties. The strikes lasted for approximately 23 minutes. In this short time, India delivered a powerful blow to terrorist infrastructure. The operation achieved its objectives with surgical precision. Operation Sindhoora demonstrated India's growing military capabilities. It showcased the skill and professionalism of the Indian Armed Forces. The operation sent a clear message of deterrence. Following the operation, conflicting reports emerged about casualties. India claimed to have eliminated at least 100 militants. Pakistan, however, claimed that 31 civilians were killed. Pakistan also reported significant damage to infrastructure. This included damage to buildings and roads. Pakistan condemned the strikes as a violation of its sovereignty. International observers called for restraint from both sides. The United Nations urged India and Pakistan to de-escalate tensions. The risk of a wider conflict was a growing concern. The differing accounts of casualties highlighted the challenges of modern warfare. It also underscored the importance of independent verification in conflict zones. Section 5. Pakistan retaliates. A cycle of violence. Pakistan responded to Operation Sindhoora with retaliatory strikes. Pakistani aircraft targeted Indian military installations across the line of control. Both sides suffered losses of aircraft and personnel. The situation escalated rapidly. There were fears of an all-out war between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The international community called for an immediate ceasefire. The escalation highlighted the volatile nature of the India-Pakistan relationship. It also demonstrated the dangers of miscalculation and escalation in a nuclear environment. The cycle of violence threatened to spiral out of control. The need for a diplomatic solution became increasingly urgent. Section 6. Cyber warfare. A new battleground. In addition to conventional military strikes, the conflict spilled over into cyberspace. India faced a wave of cyber attacks targeting its critical infrastructure. These attacks were attributed to state-backed hackers from multiple countries. The cyber attacks targeted India's power grid, financial institutions, and government websites. While the attacks caused disruptions, India was able to mitigate their impact. The cyber attacks highlighted the evolving nature of warfare. They demonstrated the vulnerability of critical infrastructure to cyber attacks. It also underscored the need for robust cyber defenses. The use of cyber attacks added a new dimension to the conflict. It raised concerns about the potential for cyber warfare to escalate and have devastating consequences. Section 7. A fragile peace, the US brokered ceasefire. As tensions reached a boiling point, the United States intervened diplomatically. The US brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. The ceasefire came into effect on May 10, 2025. The ceasefire was fragile but provided a much-needed respite from the fighting. It allowed both sides to step back from the brink of war. The international community welcomed the ceasefire. The US played a crucial role in mediating between India and Pakistan. It leveraged its diplomatic influence to bring both sides to the negotiating table. The ceasefire was a testament to the importance of diplomacy. Despite the ceasefire, tensions remained high. The underlying issues that led to the conflict remained unresolved. Section 8. International response calls for restraint. The international community closely watched the escalating situation between India and Pakistan. There were widespread calls for restraint and de-escalation from world leaders and organizations. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the crisis. The Council urged both sides to exercise maximum restraint and engage in dialogue. Several countries, including China, Russia, and the United Kingdom, expressed concern over the situation. They called for a peaceful resolution through diplomatic channels. The international community recognized the gravity of the situation. The potential consequences of a wider conflict between India and Pakistan were too dire to contemplate. Section 9. The larger picture, Operation Sindhoora and the future of warfare. Operation Sindhoora and its aftermath have significant implications for the future of warfare. The conflict highlighted the growing complexity of modern warfare, with its blend of conventional, cyber, and informational dimensions. The operation demonstrated the willingness of states to use force across borders in response to terrorism. It also underscored the risks of escalation and the potential for conflicts to spill over into cyberspace. Operation Sindhoora serves as a reminder of the importance of diplomacy and dialogue in resolving international disputes. It also highlights the need for a rules-based international order to prevent and manage conflicts. The events of May 2025 are a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. They serve as a call to action for the international community to work together to address the root causes of conflict and build a more peaceful and secure world.